welcome to Teresa's Garage. I'm Teresa. I'm going to show you how you can check and change simple parts of your car to help keep it properly maintained. So many cars go unattended until something serious goes wrong. This video is intended to help save you expensive repair costs by detecting problems before they get serious. How often have you gone into a garage to have something minor repaired, left paying a major repair bill? With a little knowledge of your car, you can save yourself some money. This video is not intended to make you a master mechanic, but will allow you to take charge of your minor repairs and save intimidation from service mechanics. If you desire to learn more about your automobile, your community college offers courses from basic through advanced automobile repair. If you wish to do it yourself, then look for my future videos in brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, and many more. Before we begin, make sure you're wearing old clothes that can take some dirt. If you have your owner's manual, get it out so that you can better locate the parts in your car. Tools I will be using in this video are a rag, a screwdriver, a half-inch wrench or smaller, a funnel, antifreeze test strips, a battery hydrometer, battery cleaner, baking soda, bucket, and a pair of pliers. The first item we'll look at will be the air filter. The filter is located in the air cleaner. Its function is to keep dirt and debris from entering the carburetor. Airflow is crucial for your engine to run properly. A dirty air filter reduces your engine's efficiency and must be changed. To tell if your filter is dirty or clean, we need to first remove the filter from the air cleaner. Most air cleaners have wing nuts that must be removed. Some have both wing nuts and side clips. Take off the top portion of the air cleaner, remove the air filter, and look at it closely. Does it look greasy or dirty, or is it clean? Hold it to the light to tell better. Air filters are relatively inexpensive to replace, about $3 to $5, but they are impractical to clean. The proper oil level is crucial for lubrication of your engine. The tool used to check your oil level is called the oil dipstick. It is usually located on the left side of the engine. Some four-cylinder engines with front-wheel drive have the dipstick situated in the front of the engine compartment. Once you have located the dipstick, remove it from the tube, making sure to have an old rag ready. Wipe off the stick completely and reinsert it into the tube. Remove it again. What you just did was wipe off the excess oil so that you could get an accurate reading. Never check the dipstick with the engine running. Looking at the very tip of the dipstick, you will see two lines, the add line and the full line. The full line indicates that your engine has the required amount of oil. If the oil level indicates add, you need to add a quart of oil. If your level is somewhere in between, only add enough oil to bring the level to full. Before adding any type of oil, find out what brand and weight of oil your engine is using. Check your owner's manual for this, or ask the service station where you had your oil changed. To add oil, you need to locate your oil filler. This vehicle has a filler neck, while some vehicles have an opening with a cap on the valve cover. To open an oil can, purchase an oil can spout. There are a lot of different types on the market, so get the one that best suits you. Simply push the spout into the can. You can also get containers with spouts built in, where the spout is no longer necessary. You can also check to see if your oil needs to be changed by keeping a mileage record. Your oil should be changed roughly every 6 months or 6,000 miles. Some vehicles manufacturers request up to 10,000 miles, while older cars need changing more often.
Changing your engine oil when needed will ensure a longer life for your automobile engine.
The transmission fluid is very similar to the oil level when you are checking it. On automatic transmissions, before checking the fluid, make sure the vehicle is in park, engine running, and brake on. The transmission dipstick is usually located on the right side of the engine, the passenger side, near the rear of the engine. Again, have a rag ready. Pull the stick out of the tube, wipe it completely, and replace it in the tube. Remove the dipstick again. The line is indicating fluid level, the full line. If the fluid level is below this line, you'll need to add up to a quart of transmission fluid. To add the fluid, you will need a funnel. Insert the funnel into the tube, then pour the required amount of fluid in. The measurements on the transmission fluid dipstick are in pints. Make sure not to overfill. If you feel comfortable adding a little fluid at a time and checking the level each time, then do so. Your transmission fluid should be serviced every 10 to 15,000 miles. This will help extend the life of the transmission. A service cost in the neighborhood of about $30. Now let's find our brake fluid. It is located in the master cylinder, which sits on the left side of the engine compartment. In this car, it is on the left side of the firewall. On foreign automobiles, it is located on the left side as well, but the components are plastic, not metal. To check the brake fluid, take off the top of the master cylinder by removing the latch back. Remove the top and look inside to see how much fluid is in the reservoir. Some master cylinders have 2 reservoirs. This has only 1. Make sure the brake fluid level is near the top. If the level is low, add some brake fluid to bring it up to its proper level. You can tell when your fluid level is low because the rubber seal on top will be pulled down by pressure. After you have filled the reservoir, make sure you push the seal back into place.
Proper brake fluid level is important to the whole brake system. Your brakes cannot function properly if the fluid is not maintained at its proper level.
Here we're going to check a few things: the water level, your antifreeze, and radiator hoses. We'll also check the system for leaks. Before we do any checks at all, we need to make sure the engine is cool. Your radiator is in the front of the engine compartment. On top of the radiator is the radiator cap. This is where you'll check the water level. Remove the cap by turning it counterclockwise. When it stops, you'll have to push down on the cap to release the tabs. Never try to remove the cap when the engine is warm or hot. You'll receive severe burns as the cap is under pressure when the engine is warm. After removing the cap, look inside the radiator to see where the water level is. It should not be all the way to the top, as some air space is needed in order for the system to pressurize properly. If you overfill the system, it will push the water into the reservoir when it pressurizes, causing a low water level. Low water levels could contribute to engine overheating. Once you've checked the water level, check the effectiveness of your antifreeze. To test the antifreeze, you will need to purchase a set of test strips. Insert the test strips into the top of the radiator, then compare the resulting color to the color chart on the container. This chart will tell you the degree to which your engine is protected. This antifreeze will protect to -10 degrees Fahrenheit. Depending on where you live, you may need more or less antifreeze in your fluid. Never use straight antifreeze in your radiator. Antifreeze needs water to activate it. To add fluid to the radiator, turn on your engine and turn on the heater to allow the thermostat to open so that the water will flow through the engine. Look inside the radiator. If no water is visible, add a small amount of antifreeze until you can see the water flowing.
Never overfill your radiator. This will cause the water to spill into the reservoir and lower your level, increasing the possibility of overheating.
Let's go ahead and inspect the radiator and heater hoses. We want to see if the hoses are too soft. Your hoses are located on the radiator, one coming from the top of the radiator, the other from the bottom. Sometimes hoses leak at the hose clamp area if they haven't been tightened properly. If that's the case, simply tighten the clamp down with a screwdriver. Most of the time, hoses develop holes in them. This is caused by hoses becoming too soft. To see if the hoses are soft, we merely squeeze them. There should be a certain firmness to the hose. If it feels very soft or shows signs of expansion, it's time to change it. Some hose ends will be slightly larger than the other, so don't take this as a sign of expansion. To change the hoses, simply loosen the clamps on both ends. There's no need to drain your radiator. If the bottom radiator hose is being changed, you'll need to drain it. To do so, first locate the drain valve. On this radiator, it is located on the right side. With a pair of pliers, just turn the valve counterclockwise. Open it completely. Be sure to have a clean bucket to catch the fluid. If you want to change the fluid, just let the fluid drain and add a new mixture of water and antifreeze. Your heater hose is located from the firewall into the engine.
Tell the counter person your vehicle's engine size and what you need. Be sure to specify top or bottom hose.
Fan belts are another part of the engine we tend to neglect. The belts are located between the engine block and the radiator. Most of the fan belt wear occurs on the outside of the belt. To check the belts, twist them to detect any cracks, grease, glazing, or tears. Keep the engine off. Small tears will enlarge as the belt flexes, so these should be replaced.
Grease on the belts will not only cause them to rot, but will make the sides slick, causing the belt to slip. If you hear a high-pitched squeal when the engine is running, this is indicative of a loose or slipping belt. If your car has two sets of fan belts on the same pulley, they should both be at the same state of wear. One old and one new will wear unevenly, as the new belt will take most of the wear. The older belt may then slip, causing the engine to overheat and drain the battery.
Let's talk about the battery. The battery is a part of the car we tend to neglect. Most people forget about their batteries until one cold morning when they go out to their car and it won't start. Let's see how we can avoid this common problem.
The battery plays a very important part in the engine. It supplies current to operate the starting motor and ignition system and supplies all the electrical parts to the car. In order for the battery to work effectively, it must have the proper water level and tight, clean connections at the battery cables and terminals. The majority of batteries have removable caps so that the water level can be checked with ease. The residue buildup on the battery is acid. Be careful to keep this acid off your clothes and skin. To clean the residue buildup, make up a solution of baking soda and water. Pour it onto the battery, let it sit a moment, then rinse it with water. Look over the battery. Check for cracks. Carefully remove the caps to check the water level in each cell. If the level is low, add distilled water to bring it up. To check each cell's state of charge, we'll use a tool called a hydrometer. There are two types of hydrometers. One has plastic balls, the other has a glass float with a stem on top. Both are used in the same way. The fluid we are checking is called the electrolyte. The ball type of hydrometer is smaller and easier to use. Take it and insert the end of the rubber tube into each battery cell. Squeeze the top of the rubber bulb and slowly release the bulb, bringing the electrolyte up into the tube. The indicator you see inside will tell you the state of charge. This battery is fully charged. If it's run down, it needs recharging. Your garage can recharge batteries for about $5. If it is discharged, it needs replacing. A word of caution. Do not get any electrolyte on the car or yourself. It will ruin the finish and eat through your clothes. If you accidentally get electrolyte around your face, wash it with clean water right away. If it gets in your eyes, wash it out immediately and see a physician. Battery cables play a big part in your automobile. Often the cables corrode, causing the battery to run down. To check your cables, look for signs of a white residue. If this is present, you must clean the cables. To do so, use a 1/2 inch wrench to remove the cables. Your battery may have a side terminal which takes a smaller size wrench. Remove the cable by twisting the terminal. Use a battery terminal cleaner and clean the cables off completely. There are two ends to the cleaner, one of which is used for the battery post, the other is for cleaning the cable terminal. Once you have cleaned the connections, use a protectant and wipe it on the ends and terminals. The protectant will help prevent corrosion. Replace all the cables the same way you took them off. Some other safety tips to check for in your engine are frayed wires and leaking fluid. You can see these problems as you look over your engine. If you notice cuts or frayed wires, you should have your vehicle's electrical system checked by a qualified mechanic. In the same way, excessive amounts of liquid indicates possible leaks that should be checked by a mechanic. By detecting these problems early, you may be able to prevent costly repairs. When checking your tire pressure, be sure that your tires are cold. Proper tire inflation ensures that your tires wear evenly. Improper inflation will cause the tires to wear unevenly and shorten the life of the tire. To check your tire's air pressure, you need an air pressure gauge similar to this one. They come in different sizes and styles. Remove the cap on your valve stem if yours has one. Put this end of the gauge onto the stem. Push down. This allows the pin in the gauge to push the valve into the stem. The pressure then pushes out the air pressure indicator. By looking at the indicator, you can tell how much pressure your tire is carrying. Normal tire pressure is around 32 psi, but to be sure, check the side of the tire. It will tell you what is the proper inflation. Improper air pressure will cause the car to veer right or left when the brakes are applied. To add air to the tire, you can go to the nearest service station, or you can purchase a small air compressor for about $29. It can also be used for bike tires, balls, or inner tubes. To use it, first lay out both cables. One is placed on the valve stem, the other is placed in your cigarette lighter. This will engage the compressor and air will begin filling the tire. Do not overinflate the tire. If you do so, simply release some air by pushing in the valve stem pin. Always check your spare tire. Nothing is more embarrassing than getting a flat and getting out an equally flat spare. If you have a space-saver tire, then the portable compressor will inflate it to size.
Rotate your tires every 6,000 miles so that even wear will occur. Have your front end aligned every 6 months or so that your tires will be turning true.
All the parts that we have discussed can be purchased in any auto parts store. If you need to, take in the old part as well. I hope this video has helped you to understand and service simple parts in your automobile. Good luck.